Today's video, we'll be looking at how do we scale a drawing in AutoCAD. So in today's video, I'll be showing you how you use the scale command to scale objects in AutoCAD. Right? So what this means, we want to enlarge a drawing that is on AutoCAD, a part of a drawing or an entire drawing. We want to make it bigger or we want to make it smaller. Okay, so we're enlarging the given figure or reducing the given figure. Now, the first thing you need to do, you need to determine what objects do you want to scale, right? Then you need to determine before you select the command, where do you want the object to be scaled from? Where would be the base point? And then the next thing you need to consider is what is the scale factor. If you're enlarging the object, then it must be 1.5 or 1.25, a number greater than 1. If you are reducing the object, then it will be a fraction of 1. So it'll be less than 1. So it might be 0.9, which is 90%, it might be 0.8, or maybe 0.3, depending, or 0.1, depending on what your situation or your requirements are. So let me show you the first example. So the first example, I'm going to enlarge these two circles by a factor of half, right? 0.5. So I need the original size plus a half. So the scale factor would be, can you tell me what it would be? I want to increase it by half. Not reduce it by half the size, So the scale factor would be 1.5. 1, the original size, plus the additional half measurement I want it to go up to. So let me show you. So in the first example, I'll be using the scale command to make the object bigger, and the scale factor that I'm using in today's lesson is 1.5. All right, let us go now. So we're gonna up to here to select the scale command. Then it's asking us to select our objects. We press enter. Then it's asking us for the base point. So for the base point on the first one, I'm going to select this quadrant here on the left. Can you see where my cursor is? Right there. Right? Scale factor, going to make it 1.5. Enter. All right. So you see that it is bigger, and also take note that I did not select the dimensions directly, meaning I didn't click it. And you see that the dimensions have been scaled also by 1.5. So here we have 30 millimeters as the original. 1.5 times 30 is 45. Likewise, the diameter of the enlarged figure is 120. The original figure was diameter 80. So 1.5 times 80 is 200. 120, sorry. So 1 would give us 80. 0.5 will give us 40 millimeters. When you add 40 to 80, you get 120 millimeters. And see, the diagram has shifted from this base point right here, right, where this circle intersects this line, right here. Let me label it for you. All right, so here I've labeled A. So you see that this is the center line, and the drawing has shifted to the right because my base point I selected as a quadrant right here, so the drawing has enlarged towards the right. Are you seeing that? All right, in the next example, I'm going to enlarge the two circles, and the scale factor will be 1.5, but the, the center point for the displacement will be the center of the circle. So let me do that for you. Now, I can also get the scale command by typing in the word scale. There it is. And it comes up. If you have your command line up, you would be able to see scale. I can type in the word scale, press enter, and then I select my object. So there are two ways to select the scale command. We can select it from up here in the ribbon, or we can type it in the command prompt. Okay? So we selected our the items that we want to scale. We press enter. Here is the base point. I'm going to choose the center of the circles as the base point. So what do you think would happen? Pause the video for about 3 seconds and then come back. how you think the drawing will be enlarged if I choose the center of the two circles? All right, so this is the center. I'm going to type in 1.5. We'll come back. Enter. Right? So here you can see that the drawing has been enlarged by 1.5. And how can I confirm? The diameter. Again, the diameter is 120 and the original diameter was 80 millimeters. So 1.5 times 80 is 120. 1.5 times 30 is 45 millimeters. Now, take note that here the circle was enlarged from the center, original center, while on the drawing, this first drawing, it was enlarged from A and it shifted to the right of A. Are you seeing that? So this drawing is showing us how we enlarge the two drawings. Well, the three drawings are showing that we enlarge the two circles using the same scale factor. But the only difference is with the first one, we chose A as the displacement point, right? And in the second one, we chose the intersection, the centers for the circles, right? I hope you can see the difference because I actually did the drawing twice to show you the difference, all right? All right, the next thing, so we have enlarge the figure. Can you guess what next function I'm going to show you with the scale command? I'm going to give you a second to answer. 2 seconds. 1, 2. I'm going to reduce the figure below, right? I'm going to reduce it. So we enlarge the two ones at the top. Can you guess what I'm going to do different with both of them? Can you guess? 2 seconds. 1, 2. I'm going to change the base point displacement. All right, so let's go again. Scale. I'm going to select these objects. All right. So I selected my objects, press enter. I'm going to select my base point. My base point will be right here, right? The center line for the base. Then I'm going to make it smaller. So if I'm going to make it smaller, what would be the scale factor? Can you guess? I'm going to make it zero point 0.8 for today's exam. What was the original length of the base? 80. So I'm going to choose zero point 0.8. So if I'm choosing zero point 0.8 as the scale factor, what do you think the measurement would be for the base? I'm going to give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3 to answer, and then you can come back. All right, welcome back. I've still not entered my scale factor. What answer did you get? No, you know, you're supposed to get a number less than 80. So what you would have done is calculate 80% of 80. What was the answer you got? Right, 64. So see the drawing has been reduced, has gotten smaller. Here's the original, and there it is. All right, we're gonna do the same thing here. So I'm gonna type in my scale command at the cursor there. All right, so select the object, there, objects, there. Enter when I've completed. Right. Now it's asking me to specify the base point. I'm going to choose up here as a base point. What do you think would happen if I choose here as a base point? Can you guess? Sketch on a piece of paper what you think the object would look like if I choose this point right here as a base point. I'm going to give it 10 seconds to sketch it and then you come back to check it. Half as your solution if it is similar to what I have on the screen. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So here's our base point right there. Our scale factor will be the same, 80%. We're reducing the object by 80%. So 0.8. Enter. All right. So did you have your drawing to the right of the point right here? Let me label the point. All right, welcome back. As promised, I told you that I would label the points where we chose as our displacement point. So here it is. In the first instance, just recapping, we enlarge these two circles, right? And what was the scale factor again? We enlarge it by zero point 0.5. So the scale factor was 1.5. Good job if you got it correctly. And the displacement point or the base point was at A, right? We did it again to illustrate that the selection of the base point is important because it's from this point that the drawing is going to be enlarged from. Okay, so here is A. Can you see? A is here, while in the first instance A is over on the right hand side of the quadrant here. Are you seeing it? Good. So below what we did, we reduced the figure. Yes. And here it is. The original figure was this one, and we reduced it by zero point 0.8, right? And we chose A as a displacement point down here, and you see that it got smaller based on this base point here. Are you seeing that? All right, let's look at the other last example now, right? Well, this A shouldn't be here. All right. So in the next example, what I did, I reduced the original figure, which is this one, by zero point 0.8. But the difference is that the displacement point I chose here, right? So here you can see that the drawing is smaller and it is where the displacement point is at A. And just looking at the drawing while I'm speaking, notice that I can prove to you that it has shifted. You notice that this line, which was copied there, here, and there, which was not part of the scale drawing, this is what I can prove to you. Notice that this circle has shifted to the right of this line, and this circle, which was scaled from this base point, you notice now that the radius is larger. Good. So in today's lesson, we looked at how we use a scale command to enlarge a figure by the scale factor and reduce a figure by scale factor. We looked at how the figure is the placement or the placement of the final figure in relation to the original figure is dependent on can you guess? You recall? We just said it a few minutes ago. On the base point, right? Good. So the base point in the first instance, for the first, we did 4 scales application to the drawing. So the first one was at A here. The next one was at A at the center, right? That was for enlarging the circles by a scale factor of 1.5. The next example was reducing the object, right, by a scale factor of zero point 0.8, and the base point was at A, which is right here where A is. In the next example, the object was also scaled to a scale factor of zero point 0.8, but the base point was at A. And notice that it has been scaled accordingly. I also did a video because I realized that there was a little error after you scale the drawing and then undo it, meaning return to its original position. So you'd have to visit that video to see what I'm speaking about. So if you encounter the same situation in your AutoCAD drawing, especially in an exam, you would be able to solve it, right? Because when I saw it, I had to figure out how to fix it. So I had to figure out first thing, I identified what was not correct. Then I identified how to fix it. And then I used a method to check it if what I did as a solution was correct, and it was indeed correct. So I'm sharing that knowledge with you. So it would be tips on using the scale command to fix an error, which is built into the software in terms of the location of the dimension lines in relation to the centers of the circles. Okay? So I hope that in today's video, you would have a better understanding and appreciation of the application and uses of the scale command in AutoCAD. So this brings us to the end of today's video. I certainly enjoyed it. I hope you were able to understand the principles that I was trying to illustrate. Yes, and take care until we meet again. And in the next video, we'll be looking at the third angle projection. So we're looking forward to seeing you in the scene. So we're at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.